sound test and image tests. Eventually. Oh my god, this is going to be fun if it's already starting to do that. There we go. And as expected, it was not already on mute. You go up a little bit, please. Thank you. Well, there's 2 minutes in, so might as well finish what I was doing. There we go. Shouldn't be too loud, but you should normally still be able to hear it. If you don't, well, you know I hum, so you're not gonna miss much. So today's soundtrack, oddly enough, is going to be a Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix. I've been playing that game often recently. I remember how much fun I had with it, and I still do. Really enjoy it a lot. Mostly the ridiculous premise of Luigi having to dance his way across a river that he could easily jump without a running start. Anyway. So today's, as you could probably tell, drawing is going to be Donald Duck. It's his birthday this month. I think he's either in his 80s or his late 70s. I'd have to recheck because I forgot because I'm a jerk. But the idea I had, in fact, will involve this orientation for my cards, and I think you'll find it cute. So let's get started. With a lot of shadows, that's gonna be lovely. Not as bad. Good. I'm still in the frame. Good. Okay, let's go. Now I put the live stream for an hour. Might take less considering the characters I'm going to draw do not have a lot of color to them. So, might be more in case I have trouble. I don't know. I'll know when I get there. Of course, I have some references. Like, they're still gonna be looking a bit more my style, but at the same time, they're still gonna be recognizable. That's the whole idea. Like, for example, even if both Donald and Daffy are ducks, they're both built drastically different. Be My Lady. It's weird how appropriate these songs can be sometimes. There we go. Now let's see if I can fix this up. Trying to make her bill look more ducky, obviously. Pretty much for these live stream, I draw any idea that comes to mind, trying to diversify my portfolio, stuff like that. But if you want to suggest themes or pictures or stuff like that, I mean, go right ahead. Don't be shy. Even if you're viewing this after the fact on YouTube, you can still do it. Because as far as I'm concerned, when I do these, I draw what I like. So if you want to see something else, it's just as simple as telling me what you want. And don't even try. I know I can't do the Donald voice. I can do the sound, but I can't do the voice with actual words. Anybody can do the sound as far as I know. But I can't put it in words. Sometimes it's okay not to have lines to connect. And you see, this is part of what I was talking about earlier. About both Daffy and Donald being ducks but having very different construction. Daffy has a very, very pointed head, while Donald has a much rounder head. And if I'm not mistaken, only Donald has that type of pointy tongue. Daffy will have a more rounded tongue. And as for the obvious parts, Daffy is completely naked, Donald will wear clothes. But that's the thing though, and that's actually a trope I see often in cartoon characters that don't usually wear clothes, or in Donald's case, that don't wear pants. If they lose the shirt, they will hide their crotch. Why? You're not wearing pants to begin with. I have all the existential questions. I want to put hearts everywhere. And I want to do this one in marker. Usually when I work on live streams, I've been painting with watercolors, but this one, I feel this one needs to be in marker, you know? Oh, down it goes. Bye-bye. There we go. If you could stand still. There we go. Come on. I knew I should have opened it before I started. And I have to be careful because last time I was in a hurry to open my ink bottle, it went everywhere. Autoplay not very good on this thing. Oh my god. Well, while absolutely nothing happens and my router restarts, let's work on these. I still have to practice my brush work. And back it comes. And it agrees with me, good. Because I find that the ink from dipping holds a lot better than pen ink. When I erase on top of it, it doesn't go away with the eraser. And I like that. So I have to make sure I practice so I don't muff it up. So anybody remembers Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix? Or am I the only old coot in the house? Question for those who do remember DDR Mario Mix. What the frig was up with Bowser's song? It has no rhythm. I can't get the hang of it. I'll point it out when we get to it. Or you can always Google it. That's also valid. This has got to be my favorite pen. Brush, I should say. I mean, you've seen the thickness, and I've had the chance to practice with it. And look at all the different types of thickness of lines I can get with it. So yeah, pretty much for these live streams, whether they be on cards like here or digital illustrations, so far I think we're having a good schedule going on, making them on Fridays at 4:30. EDT. Eventually I'll get some colored ink, but I don't really have the money for that right now. You can always feel free to go on my Patreon and help support me, so I can then provide more content. Or I'm always open for commissions. For any information, you just have to go to www.soveryunofficial.tk, which is my personal website. You can find contact information, price lists, stuff like that. Oh my god, is Shiro really gonna start advertising in her live streams? Yes. I got trouble. Whoop, there we go. Visualizing this line. I'll get it, I'll get it. Da-da-da-da. Would you stop? I don't know if I need to clean my desk or keep it dirtier because the more I film on it, the glider my cards get for some reason. Yeah, when working with the brushes, I would recommend keeping a sheet of scrap paper like I do, like you can see over here, so you can test your brush line before you start, because sometimes you may have some crap stuck to it, stuff like that. Dried ink. And that might mess up your line. I also like this ink because it tends to dry faster and Maybe if I go over here, you'll be able to see. There we go. And I can lean on it faster. Plus I got a smudge guard on, so I'm not really scared of messing up the line with my hand. You know what the front of that beak reminds me of? Count Duckula. Of course, no matter how fast it dries, I'm still gonna take a little break once I'm done inking to give it extra time to dry, because sometimes there's spots that don't dry as fast as others. So, and even if this ink is very Copic resistant, you still want to make sure it's really dry before you start putting color to it. Plus, you know, I always take that extra time off to erase the pencil lines before I get back on. But still, I'm gonna take my time, and if it takes longer than what I expected, then it's just going to take longer, and that's that. No ifs or buts about it. I find it's better to pull when you're inking with a brush instead of trying in any kind of directions like you would a pen. Of course, if you have to ask, as far as characters go, I think it's pretty much the same. As far as favorite characters go, it's pretty much the same for everybody. It would be in order Mickey, Goofy, Donald. Of course, there's some people that are going to prefer Goofy, some people whose favorite is Donald. There is no judging, only Disney. Of course, when I put down some color, there's going to be blush. Of course, there's going to be blush. When do I not put blush? When you're drawing Freddy Fazbear stuff? Shut up. Why, it's true. Not when they're toy Freddy Fazbear. There we go. While I'm here, I'm going to there. So that's it for this inking. I'm going to stop the recording for a couple of minutes. I don't think it'll take too long to dry and erase. And like I said, I should be back in at the latest 10 minutes. Because I told you it wasn't going to take long. If you even have a little familiarity with the characters, they're easy to draw. But just in case, I had over here some reference. So I will be back in a couple of minutes. Then time for this to dry and erase a pencil.